Coming up on First at 4, the state auditor's office releases a special examination of one university's finances. And a 98-year-old Eastern Kentucky World War II veteran gets some special recognition today.
Plus, some more changes to the forecast, which looks active later this week. Details next as Mountain News First at 4 starts now.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, 98-year-old World War II veteran Worth Goebel is recognized today as a hometown hero. The Van Leer Navy vet is the oldest known living member to serve on the Hornet CV-12, one of 18 men from Johnson County. Goebel was given an award at Paintsville Lowe's today to recognize his service.
So he still thinks about it as the 18 men who went together. He doesn't really like all the attention just for him. He always wants the other 17 men to be involved in that. So we always like to try to remember them. And so many of their families all live here still too, so we're just so proud of all of them.
The Lowe's crew says they are always happy to celebrate the folks who serve. You'll hear much more about the Hour of Honor coming up tonight at 6. Governor Beshear is set to pay a visit to Richmond soon. He will join Berea Mayor Bruce Farley and Richmond Mayor Robert Blythe to promote tourism. Together, they will present funding to improve water systems and support local nonprofits. That event is supposed to get started at 4:30 at the YMCA on East Main Street in Richmond.
Showers early through the day today. Most of them have moved out now, but we're on the way, or at least waiting for some rather breezy conditions to start to work in later tonight. Here's the view from Pineville Medical Center. It's quiet right now, at least weather-wise, but the overcast is still there. We're cooler than yesterday with temperatures in the upper 40s. You see that here with those many of us in the low 50s, but some upper 40s hanging around, especially in portions of the eastern Cumberland Valley and in the Big Sandy as well. You see the showers long since moving out, replaced with some breaks in the clouds. We're kind of getting gapped by the precip at the moment, but that changes on the way. There's those temperatures again. Next 12 hours, steady, as a matter of fact. Mid-50s out there as the clouds continue to build. We actually increase those temperatures as we head through tonight. Steve, in a few minutes, I'll have the details on when we are starting to track more rain into the area and when it could be heavy. That's in a few.
All right, the 10 people facing second-degree murder charges in the death of Ervo Otieno were indicted by a grand jury yesterday. The group includes 7 Henrico County, Virginia sheriff's deputies and 3 hospital employees. The 28-year-old died March 6th while being transferred from a Henrico County jail to a state mental health facility. In hospital surveillance video released by prosecutors Tuesday, Otieno is restrained and pinned to the floor by multiple security officers. Prosecutors say Otieno was smothered by the weight of people on top of him. About 12 minutes after the incident began, Otieno appears unresponsive. 3 more minutes pass before CPR begins. Virginia law states a second-degree murder conviction could lead to anywhere from 5 to 40 years in prison. The CDC says 2 more deaths have been linked to a rare bacteria found in recalled eye drops, bringing the total number of deaths to 3. There have also been cases of vision loss and surgical removal of eyeballs. Global Pharma Healthcare's artificial tears lubricant eye drops were first recalled in February. The product was distributed by Ezra Care and Delsem Pharma. The rare strain of drug-resistant bacteria found in the drops had never before been reported in the United States. The CDC says at least 68 patients in 16 states have been infected. Most patients affected reported using Ezra Care artificial tears, but some reported using different brands. The Federal Reserve is raising interest rates again. It's extending its year-long fight against high inflation by raising a key rate a quarter point. This is despite concerns that higher borrowing rates could worsen the turmoil that has gripped the banking system. The Fed also signaled, though, that it's likely nearing the end of its aggressive series of rate hikes. We'll have more about this coming up at 5:30. Wasteful spending and missing money. That's a few of the findings of a special examination into Kentucky State University. The state auditor released those findings this afternoon, and the university's new president says he's already working on a climate change. WYMT's Phil Pendleton now with this report just in from Frankfort.
It took almost a year for this special examination into KSU to be complete. It details what the auditor describes as federal funds at risk, wasteful spending on bonuses, and basically a lot of question marks. Auditor Mike Harmon said he did not have a hands-on approach in the audit, but says his staff uncovered troubling information about the finances of the state's historically black university. But not everything could be accounted for because of what Harmon called records that simply did not exist. He said there were undocumented credit card expenses, including questionable purchases in Las Vegas, and more than $9,000 spent at a day-long retreat at the Kentucky Castle. The state constitution doesn't allow bonuses with public money. Harmon said administrators received $138,000 in bonuses anyway. The audit points to problems with the previous administration. Interim President Dr. Ronald A. Johnson says changes are already in the works.
I assure you that we are working with great haste to ensure that the public trust in Kentucky State University is maintained, or essentially returned.
A copy of this audit has also been given to a number of other state and federal agencies, including the U.S. Department of Education, the U.S. Treasury Department, the U.S. Attorney's Office, the Eastern District of Kentucky, as well as the Kentucky Attorney General. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Auditor Harmon says it could be up to the General Assembly to make additional changes at KSU. Coming up on First at 4, a deadly storm has left more than 115,000 homes without power in California.